I'm going to show you how I replaced my old thermostat with a brand new Google Nest thermostat. Hello everybody and welcome to the Weekend Honey-Do List. So I ordered the Google Nest thermostat for my home. To install it, the first thing I want to discuss is electricity. We will be working with electricity to get this installed. If you're not comfortable with that, hire a professional. But it's pretty easy. So you go to your breaker box, you turn off the power on your breaker box for your AC and your heater. Then you go inside your house and test to make sure that it's off. You can always use an electrical tester to touch the wires with that tester so you can see if there's any kind of power coming to it. So this is the kind that I like to use. Once you remove the face, you'll have the electric wires exposed and you can test it that way. But I know that the power is off. So once you remove it, you can see that there's backup batteries. That's why that screen had the temperature still on there. We're going to use the Google Nest little screwdriver that came along. It's the perfect size. So we're going to go ahead and unscrew the wires that are currently in the wall, coming out of the wall. There's a green, a yellow, a white, and a red. Now, my old thermostat is attached to the wall with 2 screws. This one over here on the right is with an anchor. The other side is poorly screwed into a stud. So it's going to take us a little bit to get it removed there. Now, on that old thermostat, there's a little clip in there. I'll show you in a second. Some of the thermostats come with this, but it's got a linking clip. We're not going to need that at all. So don't worry about that little piece there. Now the back, you can see that we painted over the thermostat. So there's this great little plate that will cover that mess. But we're going to have to attach it to the stud here, as you can see. And then I'm going to need 4 anchors. It comes with this plate, so you can easily attach that to the wall and then use the cover plate. You can see the little screw holes there for the device to be attached. And then the blue highlighted section is where you would anchor it to the wall. So you could put it to a stud and then add an anchor. But here's the thing. I didn't use this plate, which I have to go back and fix later. So let's proceed. So what I did is I started to use the same anchor that was already existing on the wall, and I was going to use the same stud that is also on the wall. So what you want to do is get your level. We're going to go ahead and make sure that it's nice and straight. I'm going to check both the bottom and the top. Then I got my drill bit, and I'm going to create a pilot hole into the stud, so that way it's nice and straight. Now, the Google Nest came with 2 screws, so ideally, if you just wanted to attach that controller onto the wall, then you would only need 2 screws. But because I'm using this plate, I need 4 screws to get the plate on there and to get the little hub and the little controller on right above it. So you can see this little plate that we have here, this little disc, comes with a little level. So if you were just putting it on the wall, you could put the screw on top and then level it and then attach the bottom one on another anchor. But for us, we're going to go ahead and straighten out the wires that we disconnected from the previous thermostat. Once we do that for all 4 of them, you can also try to make sure that you have enough wire exposed, because you're going to go ahead and push them into that little hub. So once we fish it through the center here, move the wires to the appropriate locations. What's easy about this is that really the color is already describing each location. So you have a white goes on the top corner here. You also have the red that's going to go on the bottom. And then you have the yellow on the top on the left side, and then the green on the bottom of that same side. So for this one, I was trying to put it in there, and it had too much, not enough wire exposed. So I went ahead and removed some of the casing just to give it a little bit more grip. That way I can push it a little bit farther in. So those wires also might be a little bit bulky, so you want to flatten them out once you get those installed. So that way the controller that you clip on top will be nice and flush with that little disc plate. I'm just making sure that those go in there properly, and push the rest of the wires down and then fish it back into the wall. So you can see here, At this point, I had to take it apart and add a couple of anchors, get a couple more screws, so that way I can screw it on top. Unfortunately, I forgot to hit record when I was doing that correction. I just want to make sure that you guys don't get that same mistake or go through that same problem. So just remember, if you're just attaching it to the wall, you'll only need 2 screws, but if you're adding a plate, you're going to need a couple more screws and some anchors. So once that is in there, it just clips on. So we go back outside to the breaker box, flip the switch back on, and you can see the Google Nest turns on. I'm just going to remove some of the little plastic wrappings on there. And then it takes a little bit, but then it starts to think, and then it gives you the instructions. So let's go through the instructions quickly. I'm going to select English. We're going to connect our internet. You just have to push on it, and then it'll ask you to connect. We're going to find what our internet connection here. You can see there's several in the area. I'm that one, and then you're going to go ahead and punch in your password. We're going to skip forward so you guys don't have to have my password, but you go through and scroll and push the button until you get all the way through. So once we're connecting to our internet, it'll let us know once it's been connected and it's online. And now it's going to check for updates on the software. It'll eventually do it by itself. So now we're going to go to our location. What's great about this thermostat is that it is a learning thermostat. So as there's the information about the weather is going to be taken into consideration, and where you are at and the kind of temperatures that are going on, it starts to learn your needs for your home. So right here, it's going to ask me what the zip code is. I'm going to plug in my zip code. Now, what kind of family home? So we have a single family home. And where is it located? For us, it's in the hallway of our home. Now, the type of equipment, we're going to go ahead and click on that. Are you a Nest Pro? Nope, I'm a homeowner, so I'm going to go ahead and select that. It's going to go ahead and detect the wires that we installed. It's going to say heating and cooling for our system. And then what kind of power, source of the power is it gas, electricity, oil? We have a gas heater, so we're going to go ahead and hit that. And then what type of heating? Is it forced air, in-floor radiators more? It's forced air through our attic. So now we're going to select the temperature. You want to begin by cooling or heating your home. It is winter time, so we're going to go with heating. And it's going to give us the temperatures that we would like to be at around. So you go ahead and select the heat that you want to get to. For us, the coolest, I guess, or the hottest for the heat would be in the 60s, because we don't need our energy bill. I am in California, so our energy goes skyrocketing high. So 67 is pretty good for us here. And then cooling, I don't need it to be very cool because it gets to the hundreds. So we'll go into the 80s, and it'll be plenty comfortable by that. So once I've selected those, I'm going to go ahead and hit done. And now it's going to test our system. Sometimes you have to press it a little harder. There we go. What was cool is as soon as I pressed that and it asked what I wanted to do, it just started the heater. Now I wanted to try the cooling, but I quickly found out that if it's cooler outside than what I want to try to test inside, it won't do it. So I have to wait till it gets a little bit warmer for me to test out the cooling of it. So now that we've pretty much installed and tested everything, we're moving forward with the app. So once you connect, it'll ask you, do you want to attach your app? Yes, you do. Hit yes, and it's going to give you an entry key. I blurred it out here, but you want to write down the one that it's given to you. Go ahead and download the app from the App Store, create an account, create a username and password. Usually it's associated with your Gmail account. And then go ahead and open the app on your phone. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and follow the prompts, move forward. we're going to be installing the thermostat, so you're going to select that on your list here, but you can see there's a lot of things you can connect to this app. We are connecting to a thermostat again, and it's already been installed to the wall. It'll ask you what generation is it. Ours is the 3rd generation. And then this is where we put in our entry key. I don't show it, but once I plug it in, it starts to read it and it connects to our thermostat. So now you're able to create timers and settings and adjust everything through your phone. But if you'd like, you can also connect it with your Alexa app, which is very convenient. If you want to know how to do that, let me know. Thanks for watching the Weekend Honey-Do List. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. And if you like what we do, subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below and we'll try to get back to you. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.